Okay, I'm going to take a quick look at the trees. And so with our pear, don't really notice much going on yet. These guys down here have some little black spots, brown spots on them. I'm not sure what that's about, but they're just like new growth there, so I'm not sure what it is. The other thing we had is that there's some fruit on the ground there that has fallen off, about half a dozen of them. So I'm guessing they were just ones that had some bugs in them or something, because the rest of the fruit is still holding up there. So sometimes that happens, is the ones that have some damage or some problems will drop earlier, but the rest are still on there and looking good. I haven't done any checking, but probably in the next couple weeks. That's historically when it's going to be. We will see exactly what's going to happen, but everything looks pretty good on that one. And then our cherry is just still doing great, still leafing out a lot. Need to go in and take care of that new growth. I'd like to do that before fall happens, so the next couple weeks, and maybe remove the dead limb. But anyway, other than that, everything looks pretty good on it. And then with the apple tree, looks good. I didn't notice any problems. Was looking at the few fruits that we did have, and you can see why we thin things and whatnot. So this cluster had 4 apples and a little dead one, and so you can see that they're very tiny, only a couple inches across. And then if we look at this cluster that we didn't thin, there's just 2, and you can see this one's much bigger than this one. This one's a little bit smaller than the others, but that's it. You can also see, because I didn't spray this year, there's the frass of the bug, or the bug poop, probably where the worm went in, and that's its spot there, and there's probably one that went in there. So this is just kind of to show what happens if you don't do anything. But that one apple right there, it did get thinned, or maybe I thinned it, or it just only had one blossom, and you can see that it is very large. It is larger than these 2 put together, and it doesn't have any rusting or whatever. So it's basically, that's why we do the thinning part, because the tree will try to develop 4 apples in the same spot, and they'll rub up against each other. They'll provide a home for pests, because just like this was right here, these 2 are touching, and that's where the bug entered, because they can hide out in between the fruit. So that's why we go through and do the painstaking process of thinning them out and whatnot, in years when we actually have some production. So you can see it's just a jungle in there, and things growing every which way. So next year is going to be the year that I'm really going to clean it out. Now that we've got mostly the size under control, we can work on all the fine tuning. But so anyway, no major problems, just the usual codling moth and stuff. So on to our peaches, which will be our next thing to harvest. The tree's looking huge and very, very productive, as they always are. Lots and lots of new growth. So our peaches are under there, and they're looking pretty pale still, getting good size on them. And then this one here has actually a little bit of coloring. Right there, you can just see a little bit of red on there, but that's about it. And there's some there. So basically they're getting some good size on them, and again, with the peaches and the pears, they usually come together, and traditionally sometime between now and the first week in September, so pretty soon. And then our other pear is just plugging along. You can see really clearly all the ones that go straight up, which are not useful, but that's just what pears like to do. And then with our apricot, it's doing good. I haven't noticed any problems with it, and since all the fruit's gone on it, we're just kind of letting it do its thing and making sure there's no problems. So anyway, those are the fruit trees this week. So still no peaches and pears, but shouldn't be too long, and we'll get to see them. Thanks.